Tinubu's move to give Nigeria a brand new constitution unsettles the North. Remember that before now, Tinubu have said that a brand new constitution will give Nigerians equal opportunity, irrespective of where they hail from, while declaring support for a brand new constitution. And apart from that, he was emphatic when he talked about the issue of forest guard, that he's going to give state police a priority attention. But we are seeing serious mounting pressure and opposition from Fulanis and from the northern part of the country. Even before now, we have seen a situation where even all the southwestern stakeholders came together to say, yes, we are in support of a brand new constitution. An indication that the move by Tinubu himself is having support from his region, talking about the southwest. But I want to say that the growing pressure and opposition of brand new constitution and of course state police from the north and from Fulani is worrisome. Because I want to say that the north is the greatest beneficiary of the current fraudulent status quo of Nigeria. I think that must explain the reason we see this mounting opposition. But let me bring some of the opposition to this move as it comes from the north. This one is coming from the Punch newspaper. It says northern group rejects state police, warn against political abuse. But we know that when it comes to a brand new constitution, one of the major areas Nigerians are yearning for, which the president himself has given attention, we have to do with state police. You go for that to say that the Northern Progressive Elders Group has urged the federal government to resist calls for the creation of state police, warning that such a move could worsen political crisis and insecurity in the country. Speaking on behalf of the group in a telephone conversation with our correspondent on Thursday, a senior member, Yusuf Abubakar, argued that while insecurity remains a major challenge across Nigeria, particularly in the north and southwest, he said state-controlled police forces are not the solution. According to the group, the nation already have multiple security agencies, including federal police and the military. But the real problem lies in the politicization of the security matters. But at this point, let me quickly say that I strongly disagree with this position, because the fear of abuse is a misplaced one. Because what we are saying is the governors need some level of security power to be able to address the insecurity we see. But let me quickly bring you another angle, because we want you to understand the position of the North, the position of the Fulani regarding this issue of constitutional review and even state police. Of course, this one comes from Plateau State. He said, Plateau classes Magban disagree with Governor Mufwang's on state police. You can see that collectively, the North, the Fulanis, are in the same vanguard against this issue. It's a Plateau State chapter of the Miet Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Magban, has disagreed with the Governor Caleb Mufwang's proposal for creation of state police by the federal government to curb the incessant attack and killing in the states. Going forward, I said Mufwang had made the call over the weekend during the two-day public hearing of the Senate Committee on Review of the 1999 Constitution for the North Central Zone, held in Jos, the state capital. Remember that Plateau have been a major epicenter of Fulani herders community clashes. I remember that in one of the instances, of course, I think that the last time we heard such attack, the governor was emphatic that it was genocidal in nature. So the point here is, why are these Fulanis, the North, kicking against this initiative, this approach that everybody have believed that is going to be a game changer, that is going to solve this issue of inability of the government to police the environment? But let me bring you this other one before we go proper into the conversation. This one is equally coming from a northern group. It says northern group opposes establishment of state police. You go further and say that the Kule Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has openly opposed the establishment of state police, citing financial burden and risk of political abuse as major impediments that can undermine operatives from enforcing law and order. I must say that this is unacceptable. Going forward, I say Cap-Ran made his position known through his national president, Kali Mobi Bello, in a statement issued on Thursday. According to the statement, the proposal has significant implications that could impact financial stability, administrative efficiency, and social harmony in the region. I must say that in all of this, I totally disagree with the position of the North. Because as far as I'm concerned, we need state police. As far as I'm concerned, we need a brand new constitution. We need the constitutional review. Because the way it stands, the greatest beneficiary of the current fraudulent status quo of Nigeria is the Fulanis and the North. That would explain the reason they always rise to oppose any attempts to review the current status quo. We also saw how they mounted pressure and used their number in National Assembly to expunge every area that was repugnant to their interests in the tax reform bills that the federal government took to the Senate. And as we have it, the version the president assented to is the version that was watered down by the same North. Now they are at it again. And if you ask, why is it even difficult for them to even key into the Forest Guard initiative of federal government? Rather, all their attempt is to blame federal government for inability to protect lives and property. I want to say that the protection of lives and property is a shared responsibility between the president and the governors. Because the governors go by the name of the governor and the chief security officer of their respective states. And as we have it, the federal government is saying, let us follow this route of Forest Guard so that you on your own can share some level of security power to enable you address this insecurity. Because the governor of Zamfara State recently was emphatic that his capacity as a governor, that he has been able to acquire some level of technology that enables him to know the movement and location of bandits. He lamented on his inability to, of course, command the security architecture into operation. But now that the opportunity have come for him to even have that security power, why are they not keen into it? But I want to say that the president and the southern governors must not back down. They must continue to push. Because I want to say that what we need as a people, as a country, to solve this issue of insecurity is state police. Because the way it is becoming very clear that the bandits are people who come from different parts of the world, who hibernate here and cause problems. And because they are advancing the cause and interest of most of these northern stakeholder leaders, they don't see anything wrong in it. Because if you listen to the former retired military intelligence officer who made it clear from his own experience while he was in service, the intention of those who sponsor terrorism, you begin to understand it that if the federal government is not decisive, these elements at the state level will frustrate every effort to police the country and to protect the citizens. I must say that the federal government must ignore the likes of Shegumi, must ignore every voice that is counterproductive. Because for me, once you are against state police, you are in the vanguard of those who do not want the society to be policed. And I also want to use this opportunity to encourage the southern governors. If the northern governors can do it, it's good as well. That let all the states start enacting anti-open grazing laws. Because I think that is one of the surest ways to minimize those who move around illegally. Because if there is anti-open grazing law, and the herders themselves, Fulani herders themselves, know that you are bound to ranch your cow, I don't think the issue of Fulani herders clashes that is Fulani header and host community clashes, as it has to do with them coming back in the night to invade communities, will be a thing that we'll be contending with. And once we have state police in place, definitely enforcing such law that has to do with anti-open grazing laws will not be a challenge. But as far as I'm concerned, we need a brand new constitution to address most of the abnormalities we see in our system. There is no better way to say it than to say that the current status quo is not fair. Particularly if you look at the issue that has to do with the states in the country currently. There's no way to explain the justification behind the North having 19 states as against the 17 in the South. It is purely done by the military, and even the very constitution we are using, the grand norm, was imposed on Nigerians by the military, I think under the administration of Abdul Salami Abubakar. That is why I would encourage the federal government currently that if it is not possible to dust the dust that we have gathered the files of 2014 confab, that the government should make bold to initiate another avenue where Nigerians can have the opportunity to discuss and come up with their own people's-oriented constitution. I call it people's-oriented constitution because what we have currently didn't come from the people. And the greatest fraudulent part of it is that he said that we, the people of Nigeria. So you begin to wonder at what point did Nigerians gather together to write that constitution? So if you even want to solve the problem of agitation that we regularly hear, particularly from the eastern part of the country, the best way to solve it is to address the concerns of the people. And what are those concerns? Talking about marginalization, lopsidedness in scheme of things in the country. Because there is no justification behind the South is having 5 states as against the 6 in other geographical zones. And when you talk about Nigerian projects, definitely the first 3 major groups or ethnicity in Nigeria, you talk about the Yorubas, the Igbos, and the Hausa. So what is the justification behind the Igbos having just 5 states in that region? I'm not saying the Igbos do not extend beyond the 5 states in the southeast, but when it comes to the 5 core southeastern region, at least they should have up to 6 states. That is where I endorse the move by the senator representing Delta North Senatorial District, talking about Senator Ned Nwoko, who is currently pushing for a creation of an Anambra state to use to balance the 6 states in the southeast. And that's where I would encourage other senators, other regions to endorse it. Because for me, that is patriotism. Because it's not just enough to see that he's pushing for it, other regions and other senators will start pushing for their own. But if not for anything, let us balance and see that we address one level of demand or what those things that give rise to agitation. So that when people will write to agitate, you begin to ask, what is your justification? But if people rise and all they see is marginalization, all they see is things skewed against their region, it will be attractive to agitate for secession. So, as far as I'm concerned, there's every need to give it a priority attention because it's what it is. Now, those northern elements, stakeholders who are opposing state police, I want to say that they should have a rethink. Because the current situation of things, well, you see bandits currently coming out from their enclaves, from their hiding places, from their abode to negotiate with communities, and after negotiation, going back to their abode fully armed, I must say, is a very dangerous trend. And we are all sitting on a keg of gunpowder. The earlier we collectively fight this evil and defeat it, the better. Because you may say it is not your region. But I want to say that it's a matter of time. If it's not addressed, it will definitely go round. Because when this issue started, it was not in every northern state. It was a Boko Haram issue that was restricted to Sambisa Forest, Borno, Yobe, as the case may be. But currently, we are seeing them. Their activities is even higher in Zamfara, higher in Katsina, in Kwara, more than the Borno we used to know. And even currently, there's a security alert where ISWAP where it has been revealed that ISWAP will likely attack some communities in Ondo and even Kogi. So that is why the earlier it's addressed, the better for everybody. Because as far as I'm concerned, if we stamp it out, the money we are using to address it can be channeled into other areas of human endeavor. But let me say very, very thank you for your time. This is Settler Media and I'm Mr. Matu.